Hello, my name is Logan and this is my mastery project presentation on Essential Knowledge 3D3. Signal transduction pathways link signal reception with cellular response. To start off, the signal pathway begins with a chemical messenger, also known as a ligand, which binds to a receptor protein on the outside of a cell. Different receptors are able to recognize different chemical messengers, which can include peptides, small chemicals, or proteins. Some protein receptors include G-protein link receptors or receptor tyrosine kinases. After the receptor protein recognizes the signal molecule, it changes shape, which starts the transduction of the signal. Transduction just means the conversion of a message or energy into another form. The main goal is to get a signal from outside the cell and convert it to a signal which the cell can respond to and take actions necessary. When the receptor is activated, it then follows a signal cascade, which is often a phosphorylation cascade. A phosphorylation cascade is a signal pathway where one enzyme phosphorylates or adds a phosphate to another enzyme, causing a chain reaction where the signals are being amplified in order to produce a cellular response. For the cascade of the signal to function, second messengers are often used, such as cyclin GMP, cyclin AMP, or calcium ions as a way of transmitting signals. Transduction of signals is necessary because an outside signal would not be able to produce a cellular response without it being converted and amplified within the cell. An example of this pathway can be seen through the transduction of epinephrine ligands. When epinephrine binds to a G protein receptor on the outside cell membrane, it sends an alpha subunit attached to that protein to another protein in the membrane, adenylyl cyclase. Adenylyl cyclase is activated to convert ATP into cAMP, a secondary messenger, which is essential in the transduction process. The cAMP binds to what are called protein kinases, which have two catalytic subunits and two that are regulatory, to split them up into separate enzyme subunits and start the phosphorylation cascade. The catalytic portions are phosphorylated, giving them energy to allow them to drop off the phosphate to the enzyme phosphorylase. Phosphorylase releases glucose from glycogen within the cell. Once the ligand is removed, the whole process shuts down. Without the transduction of the signal, the enzymes that give energy to phosphorylase would not have been able to phosphorylate it. This is why cells need intracellular signal conversions in order for the signal to start from the ligand and release glucose from glycogen as a response. Another example can be seen through the transduction pathway of insulin. The transduction pathways of insulin can lead to many different outcomes, but one thing always remains necessary: the transduction of the signal. When the insulin ligand binds to the receptor, it activates another protein, which enables another protein to be phosphorylated. This phosphorylated protein then follows a phosphorylation cascade, the end result being the production of insulin. So no matter the outcome of these pathways, the signal must be converted within the cell to amplify the signal and give the correct signal for the cell to respond to. The phosphorylation of proteins and enzymes are ultimately what lead to cellular response, making transduction a necessary process between converting outside signals to inside signals. In the MAPK signaling pathway, the epidermal growth factor binds to a receptor protein and ends with the transcription of genes promoting cell growth and cell division. Before it could reach that point, though, it had to go through the transduction pathway and down the phosphorylation cascade. When acetylcholine binds to a receptor, it can cause different changes in the skeletal and heart muscles. The transduction pathway is necessary to link the two in order to produce the correct cellular response. In the skeletal muscle pathway, it promotes muscle contraction, and in the heart muscle pathway, it inhibits muscle contraction. The ligands in all these examples are completely different and are involved in different pathways, with the exception of the heart and skeletal muscle example, but they will always go through a transduction pathway in order to produce a cellular response. This is exactly why signal transduction pathways link signal reception with cellular response. Thank you for listening.